Hello, and welcome back to the Druidic Stormcloud channel where we'll be playing Pillars of Eternity once again. And yes, it has the White March DLC and everything. All that. Uh, it is... It has been a fun game so far. I'm just a little lost. And once again, I am informing everyone ahead of time that my Friday streams are no longer going to be on Friday. It is going to be a stream that is on Saturdays. And that is going to be the timing going forward. It's going to be a little later than my other streams, at least for now. Times of these streams may be adjusted going forward. I heard you, Marco. So let's go ahead and get going now that Marco's decided he doesn't want to actually talk to me. Really?
Got it.
We don't... hang on. The man who waits... Because we were supposed to speak with our companion in the archives. Okay. Ducal Palace. Hall of Records.
Hey. Woden was, about everything you'd want your firstborn son to be. Dutiful, honest, put thought into everything he did. A real pain in my ass. Made me look bad about every way he could. It wasn't something he tried to do, but of course that just makes it worse. Not that he didn't get into trouble himself. He was just better about feeling guilty after. But we used to have this farmer near us, Hereward. Couldn't stop talking about how well he cared for his chickens. How their feathers were the whitest in town. Convinced the butcher to pay him double what the other farmers got. Me and Woden got tired of hearing it. I was maybe 11, 12 at the time. We borrowed about 6 different dyes from the dyer one day. Dyed Hereward's chickens every color but white. Next morning, the butcher comes knocking asking for 6 of his whitest chickens. We were feeling great. Up until Hereward saw what we'd done. He just got on his knees and cried right there. All those colorful chickens around him not knowing what to make of it. I thought it served him right, but I could tell Woden had other thoughts. Sure enough, the next day, every one of those chickens had been scrubbed down. They weren't white, mind you, but Woden sure tried. Never said a word to me about it, but I knew. That was Woden. My parents, they always let us be who we were. Never told me to be more like him or anything like that. Which was good, because I was never gonna.
Okay, about something else.
What's on your mind?
Let's keep going. I thought this was where we were supposed to go. Oh, just travel. Okay. That's... Alright, so Deerford Village, that was one of the places we needed to go. We also need to go here. We have feral druids.
Brave thou fall.
I fear we've...
Watch out, Connor!
Okay, this is not good. Load. Maybe my spells are exhausted.
How may I help?
Oh, we are low on uses of spells.
What?
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Yes?
Aggressive and damage.
Hey,
Hold ground and aggressive. Okay. You I already checked. You, summoner, you were doing good. Intellect +2 and resolve.
all right then. Hey,
Following your lead.
I?
Alright, we are
Ready,
going to
Watcher.
try this like this. And
Brave
if this
thou
doesn't work, then we're going to go ahead and rest first. And we're going down. I think. Yep.
Get off line! How may I help?
Wizard went down before he could fireball.
Stay close.
Okay. You wake to see Durrance, his staff held in both his hands before him. A flame flickers at its top end, casting long shadows across his face as he stares in contemplation. Still, for all the light of the fire, your eyes can't focus on him. Perhaps it is awakening from sleep, or a trick of the light, but he seems indistinct, blurred around the edges. Everything except for the staff. The staff. He seems to be studying its engravings. As you watch, the engravings glow thinly red, like through the cracks of heat-suffused wood. The lines seem like molten metal, burning along the edges of his staff, then branch out in an intricate series of fiery veins, bunching thickly where his hands clutch the wood, pulsing as if a heartbeat. As you watch, the veins spiral into a dozen separate circles that again until they are arranged in a circle of their own. They pulse, wait, and all is strangely silent, and then suddenly there is a great light from the fire, a rushing of air, a great flash. You awaken again to see Durrance in the same place holding his staff, but he is solid, real. He doesn't seem to have noticed you or reacted to what occurred.
Sure. Eh?
Brave thou art not
Good shot with this.
Okay.
Moe ixi ana.
Okay.
Moe ixi ana. Moe ixi ana.
Doing better than before.
That's not very helpful.
Rest up, big guy. We've got your back.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Moe ixi ana.
There we go.
No problem.
We have to rest again because our chanter was nearly dead. here is our druid. Chewing on a piece of uncooked meat, a small Orlan dressed in tattered leathers offers a mumbled greeting as he waves his hand. Despite his pleasant smile, the upper right portion of his face is in a sorry state. An eye patch stitched with a stylized eyeball wraps around his head, and his ear is a mangled remnant of that twitches and spasms while the other ear perks up at your approach. Next to him is the splayed carcass of a deer that appears to have been ripped apart by a bear or wolf. You hear a gurgling mumble beside you. Zagani places a hand on her stomach. Her eyes are on the carcass, still fresh. Her fox's pink tongue rolls out of its mouth.
If this is your deer, you need a new game warden. Name's Heravius. Hungry? I can't eat all this. First catch of the day, help yourself.
Might want to cook that first.
And ruin the original texture? That's the best part! Just see for yourself.
He chuckles and wipes deer bits from his lips. Turning his attention to the corpse, he plunges his hand into the deer's vivisected abdomen.
Eat up!
Alright, so here's the thing. He's doing this as a joke, but our constitution is high enough that we'll be able to do this.
Gods no! Don't eat it! I assumed you realized I was being a churlish ponce. I applaud your bravery, but unless you've a cast iron stomach, I don't recommend eating the feces too. One ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deer's insides, it had a malformed but delicious heart, and would have been dead within the year regardless. Gallowayne chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me, I shouldn't pray with my mouth full. Other than the delicious venison, new trees to document, new animals to sketch, new sights to be seen. I've learned as much as I can from the druids of my circle. I'd rather wander and learn than take root and stagnate. So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another set of hands, I'd welcome the safety of a group.
And Druid's system would be welcome.
I'm trained by the celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fisher Crane tribe. I know more than my share of nature magic, and, well, I don't shy away from a good fight. I have business with the druids that live near Twin Elms. So long as we find ourselves there eventually, I'm happy to follow along. Splendid! It'll be an honor to run with the pack for a change.
Okay, so switching up our roster, we're going to dismiss this guy
Farewell.
for a little bit and recruit him and accept. Now, go into character and take a look at him. Those are good stats. Okay. Class behavior. Weapon focus and bonus first level spell. Huh? Okay, so you're more of a damage one. Yeah, we need to change up our line up here. You go up here. Alright, we can talk to Durance. Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask you.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw a great light from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
It was like a flash. It was a flash, like an explosion. A rushing of air. Incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
The Godhammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
You helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from your staff as well.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment. The light flaring suddenly, it splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Eothas fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. We shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer. Marked by Margaret.
Durance frowns and moves his gaze from the staff. What do you mean, shared their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margaret, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory, being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margaret was pleased by what we had done.
Why is that?
The world is broken. The wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing two gods. Even as Margaret shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaret's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
What did you do?
I remembered Margaret's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal?
Oh, an interesting point of view.
As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees. Wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaret at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
What happened when you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long. Gives one time to think. If you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that, or had asked. Grab victory from defeat and
You feel as if your god betrayed you.
there is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests. Did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
Honestly, yeah, let's go with 5. Sweat collects on this, in the sooty caresses of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is, for once, at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of his dirty hand.
Huh? Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time, you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you, staring into his eyes, gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Okay, apparently that went poorly. Tell me about what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. Durance's hands tighten at the top of the staff, as if holding it by the neck. It was a place where we could choke Athos in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall. A narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was the spine of Deerwood, a symbol of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Durance studies his staff, his eyes traveling along the etchings. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens and his eyes burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Athos knew that as well. And so did his vessel in its arrogance. His hand tightens on the staff. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the backs of the Deerwood, and we intended to burn him with the light of our faith, and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadows, and gave ourselves to it. Gave yourselves to it?
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Elements of the spirit?
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well.
Waidwin, why?
We all studied Widewin. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that important?
You don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Is that why your image was blurred in the dream? Durance frowns, glances at you with a sharp look. Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. He snorts. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger. Made me re-examine the teachings of Margaret. Put them in a new light.
Looked like there was only part of you, as if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
I think I'm pissing the cleric off. Nope, okay. Alright, this will get us to Deerwood. But I want to continue in this area. Let's go ahead and save real quick.
Othek word and wrath! Lavaru beyond seeking! Othek word and wrath!
These are supposed to be level 5? And we're supposed to be level 5. We do not have cleric anymore, but you...
Yes? What? If the Eoplasia doesn't wake up. The boy needs to get his head out.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. No, okay. Find someone in town who knows about the ruins. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent, and the cowled figures near him fall silent.
Welcome.
Greetings! A look of horror slowly forms on his face. Blazes, you've just come from the village, have you? How bad was it? How bad was what? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? He nods across the river. She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifree. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her to leave, I could draw her out. She won't know you. It'll be simple. I have a few questions for you.
Hail, traveler.
I'm not sure about this. And this sounds like a blacksmith's.
Out with you! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Someone has put this priest to the test, but one not nearly difficult enough. By my measure, an amateur's work.
How may I help you?
It gives you something between a smile and a wince. What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry. They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
Let's go with 4. Can you tell me where to find the ruins?
The Glanfathen tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication.
We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
Druid, he folds his arm and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. This is where I say, go into the ruins and I'll kill you. And that's when you say, Everest, I'm a watcher. And you're no match for all of us. And we've got a good reason for doing this. And then I give up trying to argue with you and leave you to dig your own trespasser's grave. And I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make your woodens dig your graves, your own graves, before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. A dangerous plot is unfolding. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relog here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Alright, so it's north of here. Also, we're very close to leveling up.
So, Kana, what do folks in Rawatai do for fun? Aside from each other, do you just gape at every shiny object that comes along? Or is that just what you do when abroad?
Tekoa may be more traditional, but it has its share of festivals. Drink a little wine, find someone to dance with.
Wine and dancing? Oh, guess I had it all wrong. So, no shark races and undersea orgies?
No, that's all true.
The funny part is you can't tell if he's messing with him or if he's being serious.
Hello.
You've recently come to Deerford, I take it. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. I haven't seen any. Who is she? Lady Aelis. He bites his lip. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harund, and she's gone missing. Perhaps you could speak with Lord Harund at the end. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they would have to us. A man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury he doesn't seem to notice you. Galewind slobbering beast, blazing bloody effigy. That's probably not the best way. That's probably not the best way to pray to the gods. Fat lot of good they've done for me so far. Just look at this mess. My pen's ruined. and all but a few measly runts gone. Calm down and tell me what's happened. He bites his lip and closes his eyes. His nostrils flare with each quick, angry breath. My wife's always telling me to mind my temper. Just breathe deep and count to 10. An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folks have been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the woods, but it seems to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought, until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith. If it hasn't already. Did you see the ogre take your pigs? What else would have destroyed my pen and made off with my herd? And at the same time, the rest of the village is seeing a 10-foot monster in the forest? Mercenary, he gives you an appraising look. I know a few toughs like you during the Saints' War. Which is it? A blade for hire or a raid for fun? I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but I'd set my mind at ease if that thing's head shorn from its neck, or to see it. In fact, you bring its ugly pat to me, and I'll trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. What do you know about the ogre? The Living Lands. It's the same as any other, I'm sure. Big, ugly SOB with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Trigal could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the woods. You can find him in his shop, right by the broken tower. He waves his hand. But it's gotta be tiny compared to the sort of beasts you see up in the Living Lands. So about this Orlin woman. Never heard of her. Interesting. That's the broken tower. So his shop would be that one. There's the smithy.
I
Well-
just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She snatches of a melody as she goes. First time in Drukagin. Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about all the same. Sure, let's have it. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get out something to write with. Oh, what do you mean supposed to be? I'm not reading all of this, but I'm leaving it up for a while so that people can read it.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Well, we helped him. Oh, he's the guy from underground. The man wears Adrian-style robes, but simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look as if they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hair twisted around his silky gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Your child is missing, I take it?
Yes, Lady Alice. My daughter.
He tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
Not at all. Kind of an apt description. Mercenary, his guard leans in. My lord, a mercenary. Harond raises a hand to silence the man. If you find her, he nibbles at the thumb of one of his silk gloves. Tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Elias, my child, is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. Really? Really? Do you need or do you just want? Okay, apparently I have to take care of my dog real quick. I will be right back. Okay, he wanted outside. I am back. I'd like to ask a few questions about your daughter.
Elise. Of course.
Describe her. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. How do you not know? Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Deerford for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Alis was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one in the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. Why did you come to Deerford? It was merely a stop on the way to Ian's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days' rest to recover. What's in Ian's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but gives in with a sigh. She's reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want... Okay. Where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Heron is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, Alis has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Elias's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Ader these past months. Rubs his knuckles. As for siblings, she has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn since her, that is. I see, going back to your daughter, I need a higher survival. 6.
My eyes are peeled.
Hello!
Tell me about them. He frowns and shrugs. His lordship says she up and went missing the other day. Wipes the tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift, jerking motions. I don't know any more than that. And with these lording bastards handle their affairs, ain't no business of mine. Perhaps you could make it your business? Bribing him seems interesting. He scowls at you. Put them copper away. My pay comes from an honest day's work. Enough for me, and should be enough for anyone. But you're just like that lord. Rattling your purse. What do you mean of buying his leave of gods and kith? Shakes his head. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anybody else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and leave so things can go back to normal around here. Benevolent too. He leans on the bar and sighs. That girl. She was looking to disappear. You should have seen her. watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I seen her talk to was Trigal. He nods at the cast window. Or east window. His shop's by that broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, if you don't profit, to dig around in other people's business. Or it don't profit. I understand. Farewell. Alright, we got some information. The Orlin hovers by the window, peering out it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess, was that someone named Midrith? She draws her stiletto. It's a lie, plain and simple. You're on the wrong side of his employees, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy for you. Relax. I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Domills came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? She runs her hand under her hood through her hair. It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you people spoke with Meredith, you know where he's waiting. Please, you've got to help me get out of here. The truth. Alright, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door.
I'll give it a try, at least. As requested. I can do that. As requested.
Okay.
With the cat's nose, how is it you failed to notice your rotten stench?
Failed to notice? Hardly. I put work into smelling this way.
I should have expected.
I never know what sort of game is downwind. I need to smell like part of nature, not an interloper.
And that is a fact for hunting in
Can you
closer
smell the
range.
oily notes of brain fat in the air? Cured leather always makes me so hungry.
Well, that cut out.
Gods keep you.
A young woman leans against the wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages with raw, ripped flesh showing underneath. A minty, tingly scent wafts from her dressings. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town? I'm about dry on some of my stock, but you're welcome to take a look. Actually, I'm looking for a missing noblewoman. Oh, that lord's daughter. She was a few shades of green when I saw her the other morning, chatting with Trigal. She was just outside a shop. Trigal she was, just outside a shop. She points at the crumbling tower. You're talking about morning sickness. Was she pregnant? She sighs. Aye. And worked into a state about it, she was. That girl was so sick she didn't even notice Trigal's stink. I offered her some herbs to take care of the problem. Thought it might save her some trouble with her old man, but she wouldn't have it. Thank you for the information.
Well met, friend.
Anything else I can help you with? Or do you for you? I've got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. Said your supplies were limited. What happened? It's the roads. Can't reach none of my suppliers, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood. Darecap, riverweed, and the like. That's well and good, but most potions require something stronger too. Troll skin, vessel bone, what have you. And then there's some really rare ingredients, things you'll never be able to afford, let alone find on your own. What did you find? She winces as the rest of her story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on a drake's nest east of town at Deerford Crossing. The beast... Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones you get passed between merchants or left for weeks or more. And that clutch looked to be at its peak. Though thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched. Or that young worms were so territorial. I could get one for you. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. She bites her lip. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile. And there's a lot more I can do with a whole one. What's wrong with the roads? Brigands, looters, you name it. The gods may be hollowing out our babies, but it's growing folk that's robbing out the rest of us. People are scrambling to Defiance Bay because they hear there's healthy births there. And all those refugees' abandoned homes attract desperate sorts, like flies on dog shit. Show me your wares. grieving mother. A middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in brown leather cloth, draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separate, stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long, fibrous stems with a paring knife. And I'm going to step away to check on my dog real quick. Okay, he is fine, he is being good, he just does not want to come inside. He likes being outside. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. I was hoping to ask you some questions. The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. There's no indication that she heard you. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with the threads that lack color and in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she's half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch her knitting takes on an odd cadence. You have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus on the woman. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the stream of her locks downward, the hairs become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver, and wrapping around her hands. Is she forming a silk cradle with the threads? Braiding a net from in front of you with each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it, and suddenly you are calm. You're on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table laying beneath the clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, is a forest, hazy with mist. Although whether it is actual mist or distance or a recollection. Resting in the center of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. You hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes, and at the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts like mist rolling softly into a sealed chamber. And focus on the chimes. The chimes coax you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movement of Braith's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crown. The hands you are wearing and inhabiting have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel the distant pains in your own head as the head emerges as screaming. Focus on the child. As your hands move, you hear the sounds of the chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. Draw the child forth, and coax by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of the soft umbilical. The child cries out. Its cry full of life, full of soul. The ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you were viewing a soul from within a soul. But it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping at first, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child to her, something you've done many times before. And as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists, and were once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, soothing guide. With great effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There was no pull, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remained, as if they existed in the memory. The sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your hands or head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrists is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She's wearing black, shredded garments that drape from her or over her like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see now is what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first one to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat from the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. Who are you?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touched on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. Cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a Bewick, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly. The chimes are sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly, as if she's been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt. Yet, while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau. Yet, the image was so clear, so sharp. You're almost surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
Okay, I'm going to go and check on my dog again real quick. He worries me sometimes. Okay, I am back. I am sorry about that. He did not want to come back inside yet. Never been able to do that with a living person, except you. To see me is a rare gift, a watcher's gift.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. You cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried.
That's an interesting thought.
The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There is a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, in your thoughts, it stretches out between the two of you. Like a pull between your minds, you blink, take a breath, then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet cannot form the words. As if assembling them is painful, or there is simply not enough pieces. Assemble the thought. Do you wish to travel with me? Feel a wave of fear, gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly, her expression does not change. The fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. We have a new character. Okay, she is a cipher. They're an interesting lot. Let's
May
dismiss the
WoW
druid,
watch your
recruit the cipher. Accept. Okay. Eye strike is debilitating. Whisper of treason is debilitating. Alright, she is very much a debilitator. So let's go ahead and set that up. Crowd control. Use for rest abilities. Aggressive. Save. And let's take a look at what weapons she has equipped. She has a dagger and padded armor. We have 9,000 in currency. We're also going to take a look at our keep. The building will finish in 8 hours. Oh.
Well met, friend.
A sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. You're looking to purchase some leather? Rumbled mentioned something about an ogre. He's hardly talked about anything else since those pigs of his went missing. Old town's been worried about the monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing it growl and the snoring of their mates. It would put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. He scrapes at red pigment under his fingernails. I sometimes venture into the wilderness, collecting ingredients for my dyes, mind you. I've seen tracks in east of here, near the river. That couldn't have been anything else. What is this collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks and the tallow stench Dingler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the foul lady who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the end who'll tell you the blood. Okay. I want to see. I am very close to leveling up, and that is bothering me. Okay. What can you tell me about the missing noblewoman? He shrugs. Only that her father's men have been banging on doors and stirring up trouble looking for her. I never met her myself. That's strange. Dinkler told me you were acquainted. He watches you and smiles slowly. He doesn't miss much. What exactly did you tell her? He said she was looking for an escape. Her father's dragged her out here and to get hitched to some backwoods noble. She wanted an escape, all right, and I was happy to give it to her. We snuck across the river a few nights ago for some private time. Come to find out, we weren't exactly alone. An ogre, taller than Winfred's tails, sprung out from the forest, and we were lost in the heat of the moment. We didn't notice it until it was upon us. It grabbed Alice and disappeared into the night, before I could tell or even pull my britches up. You can see why you kept it to yourself. I'm not proud of it, but that's what happened. Measures you with his gaze. She could still be alive. I'm in no shape to go after her. But that herald... Looks like you have coppers to spare for anyone who found her. He scratches his cheek with a finger stained red and yellow. Others around here have seen the ogre east of town. Took most of Rimbaud's pigs just the other day. If someone were to find it. Well, this isn't good. Okay.
Good day, stranger.
What's been going on in town? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens, especially not since the legacy hit. People realized they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of the excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. What do you have for sale? Tall grass, unique pike, a new unique greatsword, Grudgekeeper is a unique rod, a unique spear. Mosquito is a unique rapier. Interesting, interesting. With draining. Draining is good. A unique light armor. Cloth armor. Yeah. Alright, we're not going to buy any of that, but we are going to need to get some camping supplies before we head out. And I'm going to step away again to check on my dog. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. My dog did return to the house and is now enjoying his treat for coming back inside. Maybe the inn has camping supplies.
Welcome.
Order food. Hello? Hello? I will be right back. I have to give my dog scritches. Marco. There. Yeah, you're a good boy. It's okay. Not going back outside, bud. He is so spoiled. Alright, let's go and see about finding that noblewoman. I would have preferred having more camping supplies, but we have what we have.
Brave thou Phelon.
Wait. That should be enough to level up.
Got it.
Yes, it is. Okay. Strengthen Savage Defiance. Boost all defenses. Barbaric Blow. Maybe Unstoppable. Unstoppable it is.
Doing the...
Proacte!
Okay. Seriously, where am I supposed to go? Oh.
Brave.
Okay. Hey, you leveled up. We can't level you up during combat. You leveled up. You almost leveled up.
Brave, thou shalt not believe.
Yeah.
Crucible of the Soul. Interesting, okay.
No problem.
Okay. You are 100% a defender, so there we go. Alright, you have max-ish lore. Brilliant Radiance. Inspired Flame. Brilliant Radiance. Done. Mechanics and survival. Will-o'-the-wisps. Yeah, we're going to pick a healing one. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the summons, I think. No, that's a healing ability that Chanters have. Let's go ahead and increase that. Hey, the wall is complete. All right. Time to start building up the fortress in its entirety.
Yeah?
Hey,
Ready, Watcher.
Following your lead.
Alright, we have those lined up and we are going in. Finally, the fox went down. That is actually good. You stand within what looks to be a ruined shrine. The moss-covered remnants of an ancient statue lies before you. Examine the statue. Only the broken legs and feet of the sculpture remain. Long grooves alongside it suggest it could be moved. Near the base of the statue, you discover a skull carved into the stone. Examine the skull. The skull is carved into the stone in an intricate relief. Its mouth agape. Peering closely, you notice a rusty keyhole between its jaws. Pick the lock. After several attempts, you realize the rusty lock is beyond the skill of both you and your companions. Push the statue. Appears to be several hundred pounds of solid stone. You consider who would be the best to push it. Myself. You push the statue, arms shaking, feet. Push the statue. Adar. Okay, use the item. You chip away at the base of the statue. By the time your arms are numb from the ringing hammer blows, you've scratched out a hole just wide enough to fit 3 fingers. Air whistles through the gap, but whatever's on the other side, you won't be able to dig your way through to it. Okay, it made me waste a hammer and chisel.
Of course. Raved out. Roll up 10. Raved out Gloculi.
Why, I can get down here.
Okay. Survival. Next. Vicious companion. Restless companion. Merciless companion. Damage resistant bypass. Okay, restless companion. Let's go with that. This is the ogre's cage, or cave, isn't it? Ah, there we are.
Roak 10!
Dead adventurer. A man turns to face you, wiping blood from his estoc. His knit brow betrays the moment of confusion, but as he watches you, a slow, confident smile creeps over his face. The Iron Brand does not meet many travelers this far from the road. What would they be doing out here? Raolf, an elven man, cocks his head at the others. Probably after that dragon egg, same as us, boss. The dwarf curses and spits to the grass. It's a rhetorical question, you dimwit. He tightens his grip on his sword. Everyone knows the roads between the villages are crawling with brigands. They're obviously bandits, same as us. Why would you want a dragon egg? To sell it, of course. If I wanted to eat it, I would have grabbed some pigs from that farm in Deerford, too. What do you know about the dragon eggs? They're round and large, and they come from dragons and drakes. What else is there to know? I've seen all sorts of deadly creatures. Few are worse than an angry drake. I'm not taking any chances with drakes. Say what you want, I'm out. She hurries off. Let her go. That just means a bigger cut for us. Okay, so first of all,
Yeah?
send you in against him.
Hey.
So you can go in against that one and probably get that guy as well. The fox will target this one, and so
Ready, Watcher.
will you. Not how I planned it, but it works. Why are the skeletons doing nothing? Alright, and they are dealt with. Oh, dexterity boost.
Got it.
Alright, let's save real quick because I imagine this is going to be a problem. The cliff face is blackened and melted like candle wax. There's a small outcropping overhead with what appears to be a crude nest. Looks like a challenging climb. Climb it yourself. Athletics 5. Done. Okay. And you reach the nest. The nest is surrounded by glowing embers. Twigs and bones litter the area. An egg the size of a small keg is nestled among the detritus. It looks heavy and awkward to carry. Secure the egg with a rope and lower it. Really? Rope and grappling hook have been used. You tie a rope around the egg. You lower the egg with slow, steady motions. Once the prize has reached the bottom and settled into the dirt, you safely climb down the cliff. And we have another level up. Alright, let's look at these. Oh, she is high in stealth, and we can up her mechanics as well. Okay, another debuff one. Honestly, Apprentice's sneak attack. Yeah. Make her an even more roguelike cipher.
Let's go.
Brave thou Theon.
Moe ixi ana. Moe ixi roak.
Hello. Hello.
Brave thou Theon.
What's up?
No. There's some shut-eye about now.
No. No. Alright, we got to rest up now. Is that so? Marco, you're peeking the mic. How, with your barks being so loud, it is going to hurt people's eardrums. I know you love ears. You don't want to hurt ears. It's only when I'm streaming you gotta be quieter like that. My ears can take you being louder. Good boy. Okay. Almost, but it is not time stop streaming yet. Wait, no, this way. What was over here? Forest lurkers and druids. Or more primordials. Doomer Bellows down. Really? I love you. That's a good boy. Okay, how about this? My party's about to be wiped out. So this path is a no-go. So I'm going to have to reload and continue down the separate path. Marco, we just talked about being loud. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Different crossing. Reload that. Really? Okay, there we go. Go ahead and mechanics. Fractured violation. And apprentice sneak attack. Marco.
Sure.
Marco. Really? Marco, you're being loud again. Yes, you are. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have to be calling it soon. Because my dog demands it. My dog demands attention. Okay, now that we are here, now that we got that 60 experience, and we are going to rest. This will be the end of the stream. Yes, I know. You want my attention now, now, now. Alright, the merchant stalls construction is started, and that will take 15 more hours. So let's go ahead and save. Okay. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and switch scene. I hope you all had a wonderful day, night, evening, whatever you were up to, whenever you were up to it. And if you have a dog, go ahead and give them scritches now. They deserve it. If you enjoyed my content, and if you're watching on live on Twitch, make sure to drop a follow. And hit the bell for notifications. Check out my Discord where I notify of unscheduled streams. As well as my Blue Sky and Twitter accounts for anything going on. If you're watching this on YouTube as a VOD, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Hit the bell for notifications. And if you enjoyed my content, check out this playlist where I play a different game. If my content's not for you but you stuck around anyway because of my dog, then here's a video YouTube thinks you will like. Have a good one. Bye.